Okay, welcome everybody to our session sponsored by the Michigan High School Esports League called Beyond the Game Esports for All, Inclusion, Innovation, and Impact in Schools. Really excited to be able to deliver this virtual recording of this session. MHSL has had the privilege of presenting at McCall, CS for Michigan. We've been in front of school board members, superintendents, principals, the non-public school group, and kind of done this breakout session at a variety of events. So it's kind of fun to be able to submit a virtual recording of this session. So along the way, you'll see some links and some things, but we do have contact information down there at the bottom if you want to follow us along on social media, our websites. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and dive right in. My name is Ryan Casey. You can see my email and phone number there. Join with me today. Some of our other MHSEL staff is Maggie Helmer, as well as someone who's brand new to MHSEL and MASSP, which is Megan Luther. So we are kind of the three-person team that is handling esports this fall and throughout the year. So again, if you have any questions about anything you're going to hear today or down the road, chances are if you email the info@mhsl.org email, you're going to either get myself, Maggie, or Meg to answer. But we love talking about esports. We love finding ways to support students and engage students in their school communities. So we are always happy to answer any question. There are no dumb questions when it comes to getting esports started at your school. So please reach out, and we are the ones that will help support you on that esports journey. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Meg, who's going to get us started on this first section of slides.
Awesome. So welcome, everybody. So speaking of esports, we are going to dive into a little bit about what this is, how to get started, what this will do for your students and your schools. So a little bit before we jump in, the QR code on the little cell phone image there, along with the recording, you will have access to these slides. So if you want to go back and get any information or bring back any of these points that we make to your schools, quick grab to the slides if you are not able to go and watch the video, pause and stop, etc. Please scan that QR code and have some access to our slide deck. But what we're going to talk about today, we're going to review a little bit of the global trends of esports, talk about the benefits that it will have for your schools and your students, learning a little bit about our platform, MHSEL, and how we run our seasons, our playoffs, how we match schools and students with their games and how they verse one another, and kind of how we run this operation. Again, going to provide a lot of resources for you, so please feel free to pause and stop and take note of anything that we talk about today. So starting at the beginning, a little bit about who we are. So MHSEL is a large program that we run here. So Maggie, Ryan, and I are actually all fully employed at our main organization here, MASSP. So a lot of you may have heard of MASSP. You may be member schools yourself. It's the Michigan Association of Secondary School Principals. Alongside that is our student leadership organization, kind of where we streamline a lot of our esports programs, getting students involved with Michigan Association of Student Councils and Honor Societies, but any type of leadership function, any programs kind of umbrellaing under that organization itself to try to provide more platforms, more opportunities for students to connect. But speaking of connection, where esports kind of lives and breathes is our main platform of Play Versus. But with all of that combined, we get our program of MHSEL. And the main mission here for MHSEL is to provide a safe, competitive, and curricular environments that allow student athletes the opportunity to build critical skill sets, explore vast career paths, and contribute to their school's culture as they are exploring connection, as they are learning new things, as they're growing and learning with their peers, with themselves, and bringing positive influence into their school culture. So a lot goes into this program, a lot goes into why students do this and why it's such a positive thing towards themselves and their schools. And to give you a little taste, we included this video here of our spring championship hosted at Oakland University for you to get a little sneak peek as to what that looks like with our students. Enjoy.
All right, so really great video. Hopefully you saw excitement. You understand maybe kind of the passion that is behind esports and why this has just been catching on like wildfire over the last 5 years that MHSEL has been around. So hopefully you, again, enjoyed that video. Just to provide a little context beyond just seeing why kids are excited, it's really important to understand, video games in general is a $200 billion industry, right? And so this is more than movies and music, television, film combined. There historically have been more online viewers of, for example, the global World League of Legends Championship online views than there are the Super Bowl, and it's not even close, to be honest. So the video game industry, and esports is a section of that industry, is just extremely popular, not just in North America, but globally. A couple other numbers I'm going to throw at you here. This is probably our favorite one that we like to share with parents and educators and administrators. About 45% of the students who participate in esports, it is the first time they have ever participated in an extracurricular activity before. So it's not just that, they haven't played volleyball or football before. It's they haven't even done band probably, or drama, or art club, or whatever it might be. And so there is a lot of power in being able to get kids to feel like they are involved in their school community for the first time. They have found their tribe of people to hang with after school in a productive, safe environment that builds critical skill sets. They have people to hang out with at lunch. All these other things that go into it that we see from surveys of surveying students and their coaches. We see improvements in their socialization skills, communication, leadership, mental health, sportsmanship, right? So for a lot of these students, they have not even played in like little league or little soccer clubs, right? Or t-ball or pee-wee football. And so we're teaching them some of these things about teamwork and grit and how to be, communicate what's going on and strategy, and all of those things we see get developed as middle school and high school students when they participate in an esports program after school. Some really good quotes here from students. I feel like I'm part of a community. Esports was my first extracurricular activity. I feel more excited to go to school. I communicate better with my peers because of participation in esports. And we definitely encourage schools to hold students accountable. Just like your traditional student athletes have some sort of code of conduct they follow, or they have an eligibility checklist to ensure that they are passing grades, we absolutely should hold esports student athletes to those same metrics, right? They have to be in school to participate. They can't be absent. They can't be getting sent down to the principal's office. They have to be passing their classes. And as a lifelong educator myself, as a former teacher and assistant principal and principal, these students will rise to these higher expectations if you make them, right? If you hold that level out there and ask them to obtain it, they absolutely will, and you will see them soar because of that. So how does it fit in with education, right? So competitive video games, esports, this kind of team-based approach to playing video games. As we already talked about, we see scholastic improvement in student achievement numbers. There's curriculum available that can be integrated into like business math and business courses. We generally see them more engaged at school. There's a lot of STEM skills, which we'll talk about in just a minute, associated with this. There's scholarship money out there available. Michigan has 28 some collegiate esports programs alone. There's a ton of careers. We already talked about digital citizenship and leadership skills, teamwork, right? And then from the life skills aspect, all those different really important soft skills, if you will, right, that improve because of esports. And knowing that video games is a $200 billion industry, you are going to want, you're going to have some kids that want to be a professional gamer, right? Which is an option, right? There's pathways to that. But just like the kid who wants to play in the NFL or the NBA, there's also different avenues where they can still find a career fit within this passion of video games, right? So the billion-dollar industry still needs people in finance and legal departments and content creation, education on the art side, whatever it might be. And so it's just a really powerful way to harness that interest and provide them some skill sets and a path forward post-high school. Some other benefits that we see from offering esports programs, what's really cool is it's not gender specific, right? And all skill levels are welcome. There's no benefit to being 6'1", 185 pounds, running a 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds flat, right? Students can also serve in a variety of roles besides playing. It's very popular to have this program, and you have your team of students who are actively playing the game. Some are starters. Some are role players or that come off the bench, right? We see programs that have teams or students that participate that don't play the game actively, but they are in charge of their communications and their Discord channel. We have some students that help broadcast and stream the games and do the shoutcasting, so kind of the play-by-play or color analysis. And there's a lot of STEM skills in figuring out the equipment needed to be able to stream and broadcast games for people to watch from all over the world. Some are in charge of designing the jerseys and doing the social media. So it's a really cool aspect of offering an esports program. Unlike traditional sports, coaches don't really need a lot of prior game knowledge to be an effective coach. You're really more like your own mini athletic director, because each game is going to be so unique that your kids participate in. Expecting you to be some sort of expert in all of these games at one time is not really feasible. The kids are going to know what to do. They're going to be plugging things in, setting stuff up. We just need you to monitor, make sure they're being safe, make sure they're being appropriate in the classroom or the game lab, wherever you might be, and to be able to relay information, monitor their communications, check in with the other coach and say, hey, could we move our game up 10 minutes this week? We have this going on, those types of things. And so don't feel like you have to be a gamer to be an effective coach within esports. And we already talked about the global games market. So it's a $1 billion industry, and so there's a lot of opportunities and benefits from participating in esports. Just to cover a couple quick facts about our league, we are getting ready to enter our 6th year in esports for MHSCL this fall. Our last spring was our biggest to date. We had over 200 schools and almost 850 teams participating. You can see the little heat map on the screen there of all of the different schools across Michigan that have participated. We had 3,700 plus students participating across 15 different game titles in both high school and middle school. So we are the largest scholastic league in the state of Michigan, and we're not slowing down. Those numbers will probably be beat again this year. And you can see our growth. So I've kind of mentioned it's been catching on like wildfire. 5 years ago, we started with 20-ish schools and like 25 teams. And so to see where we're at year after year, we get this constant growth in the number of students and teams and schools participating. And it's just been extremely exciting. So I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Maggie, who's going to kind of take us a little further into what MHSCL looks like should you choose to learn more and want to participate.
So we're going to dive right in. Thank you, Ryan. Into a little bit about our platform partner. They do a lot of the structure that has to do with the league when it comes to scheduling the games and providing the schedules, getting them on different days, having different resources available. So these are just some overall statistics about a little bit about our platform partner that has been absolutely instrumental in getting our league to where it is today. As you can see, there are a ton of other, a ton of users, a ton of schools on the platform. This is a national platform. So our students aren't just able to compete against students that are within the state, but they're also able to compete at a national level and a regional level so that they're really getting experience and diversity in who they're connecting with and who they're playing, just getting more experience and skill. Moving on, we've got our season timeline. So every year we offer 2 seasons. There's one in the fall and one in the spring. Students can play in one or both, and we always encourage our schools and teams to get in on preseason, which is usually about 2 weeks prior to the regular season. That is around 8 weeks of regular gameplay. Just because with preseason, you can work out any of the technology issues that you may have or connecting someone's account, and making sure that you just have everything squared away so that when you're ready to competitively game and challenge another school, you're not having to forfeit because of something that might have been able to be worked out in one of those preseason matches. After our regular season, we do host a postseason for high school in the fall. And then we do, usually in the spring, we'll have one middle school game title as well as our high school game titles for postseason playoffs and championships. Currently, we offer about 14 game titles for high school, with about 7 of those are offered at middle school level. We do have another game title that has been with us in the past that we're looking at possibly bringing back later on in the spring. All has to do with our platform partner and what they're able to provide with the publishers. But as you can see, there's a variety of different games that range from first-person shooter games, which might not be as popular with some schools. We offer it because it is a school-based decision on what games are offered at your school. But then you also have Rocket League, which is how I like to put it. It's soccer with cars. And then you have chess. You have a variety of different games that can hit a lot of different interests for your students that are there. We also offer a Special Olympics Unified League for both middle and high school. As you can see, there's only 2 game titles. They do follow a little bit of a different season timeline, which is all available on the Play Versus platform. But it is something that we are trying to grow here in Michigan, because it is our special education students that are able to play with another student athlete that is from, our general population at the school, and really being able to team them up and get connected, which is a great way for inclusivity at the school and innovation. And our league, I want to dive in a little bit more specifically on why MHSEL is different from, for instance, other state leagues within Michigan, but also within the nation. It's where passion meets education and opportunity. So just to dive in, I've stated that we do 2 seasons for the fall and spring, 3 different leagues that are free to compete, 6th through 12th grade. As you can see at high school, middle school, and our Special Olympics Unified, as I discussed just recently. We have an advisory board. Ryan started this about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago when we began MHSEL, so that we could really get the insights of the experts that are in the field. These are all coaches and individuals that have a passion for esports and growing it here in Michigan. They help guide us in the decisions that we make as a league, things that we can take back to our platform partner and help improve what is being offered, and really guiding all of the big decisions that we make. They are wonderful people. All of them are resources that are available in different regions throughout the state. And things that make MHSEL especially unique is we have some amazing events that are both held in person and virtually. We partner with a variety of different companies and schools to offer online or in-person tournaments that are separate from the main season play. We also hold an in-person state championship every season. We try to also host these at college or university sites, because that gets students on a college campus and really seeing what other opportunities there are for their future, and being able to just get them excited about the different possibilities that they may have never thought of having before. We have a ton of resources and support, not just through MHSEL, which we have our advisory board, which I mentioned. That's 13 to 14 individuals that are primarily there and willing to help anybody that's starting an esports league within their school and getting that up and running, as well as we host a variety of webinars. You're on one now. And Play Versus also has a very, very large online resource platform that helps with technology, the different ways that you can fundraise, all of the game rules and protocols, everything along those lines. Playversus also has specific partnerships with publishers. So these are legitimate partnerships with every game publisher, so that we don't have any issues legally being able to offer these game titles to compete in throughout the state. Most other leagues don't necessarily have these. Some of them do. This is just something that we have secured, which they also provide some perks. Like, for instance, Nintendo will, they provide free Switches. There's different unlocked for game titles that are huge cost savings for schools. Additionally, just going a little bit more into Play Versus, the state-of-the-art dashboard. Again, this is something that is huge for us. Play Versus is one of the reasons why we've been able to grow the league the way that we have, is they have a smart schedule. It's easy to use. There's team management. You can track your results, connect with coaches, and all the things right online on the platform. They also have service available for match day assistance and support that's always live, and they do respond in a very timely manner. In addition to all of the things that make us unique, we also have another one, which we like to honor our students and the work that they've done in becoming the athletes that they are. So we provide esports awards both in the fall and in the spring season, as well as a couple year-long awards as well for our state leagues. We have a testimonial from one of our advisory board members, Chris White from Novi.
The Michigan High School Esports League has made an incredible difference to the students in Novi High School. Over the last 2 years of coaching esports at Novi, I have watched students grow and develop confidence, compassion, and leadership skills that they can use for the rest of their lives. I think I can safely speak for every esports coach in Michigan that competing in Michigan High School Esports League has been an extremely validating experience for so many of our students, allowing them to compete and represent their high schools in an environment where they were already deeply passionate and committed. I could not be more proud for what my students have accomplished, which this year was a state championship. Go Michigan High School Esports League. Keep doing what you're doing. We love it.
We know that you can hear from us and we can toot our own horn as much as we can, but we like to share some of those testimonials about how it's impacting the students and our coaches throughout the state.
So a little bit to wrap up here. So as you heard from us today, as you heard, as Maggie said, from one of our coaches and from some of our quotes, even from our students, we kind of like to throw around this quote as well, that no matter the results, when students compete, no matter what you place at a competition, school culture is the true winner here. So what students are able to gain internally through academics, socially, and how they're able to show up at school, outside of school, that is the reason why we do what we do with our program of esports here in Michigan. So a little slide here for some reflective thought. Seeing as this is a virtual webinar, please feel free to pause and reflect, write down, take a picture, think of these questions later as you move into the school year. But we like a circle, square, triangle reflection. Circle. What's circling your mind after hearing from us here on this webinar, from our testimonials, the numbers we've spoken about with how this program has grown and how it's so impactful? What is still questioning in your head? How can you get started? What further information do you want to know? Square. What squares with what you already knew or believe? So if you knew that culture is already pretty strong at your school, but this has intrigued you, and you wonder how to get started, that can be a connecting spot of how you can pull students into a program like this. And finally, triangle. What 3 points will you take away from this session? What has stuck out to you here? What talking points can you bring to your administration, to other schools in your district to get more people on board, your community, parents, students, other teachers, if you want to coach alongside someone else? This can be a really cool resource for you, everything we've spoken about today, and more information to come as we lead into our fall season this year. And just a little tidbit, we do also have an introduction to esports online course as well through our Platform of Michigan virtual. So this provides 2 sketchies for you, but also gives you a deeper dive here into what it takes to go through esports. As Ryan said, you don't need to be a, expert in all the games, all the video games out there, but it does serve you well too if you want to learn more and you want to be more well versed in how to guide students through an esports platform like this. This is the really cool opportunity to go through a free course and get some sketchies along the way. And another slide, if you want to screenshot this is a really important one here. If you are all on board and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get started? These are some very important dates for you to put on your calendar. So not only do we have some other webinars ahead of us here in August coming up very soon, but we do have, as we've said previously, a preseason that begins in September, an enrollment deadline, a coaches meeting, especially if you're going to be a new coach this year and this is all brand new information to you. You definitely don't want to miss that. When your season starts in the fall, and of course, playoffs and our big championship event at MSU for our high school teams. And again, wrapping up here with myself and Ryan and Maggie, we are here to help guide you along the way with your esports team. And we are very, very excited to answer any questions, offer you more information, and help you get started with your school for a fall 2025 season.
Thank you, Megan. And I just want to reiterate, if you get a chance and go to mhsel.org, we have a bunch of resources on there again, and kind of lays out the next steps for how to get started in terms of like surveying students to see what they're interested in and what games, and what do you need to send to your IT network administrators to start getting the ball rolling. Between that and getting your free account started at playversus.com and to be able to just get your school added so it's in the system, so to speak, are two really the next steps we would suggest. And then if you're interested with onboarding, we can help with that as well as our partners at PlayVersus. So excited for the opportunity to maybe see some of you all this fall. And if you can't do the fall, you want to wait till spring, that's no problem as well. But excited for another season, another school year of esports. So thank you, Megan. Thanks, Maggie. And we are here if you want to reach out. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.